crouched up on the sink is you. They're wearing the same clothing, but there's mud all along the boots, and it appears you've been shot. G'day, and welcome to the Stream of Chaos. I'm Dave, I'm the Keeper of Arcane Lore for Call of Cthulhu, and today we are playing a new scenario from Mansions of Madness. We're playing The Code. You can get your own copy of this tome from Chaosium.com, and you can find the previous scenarios we've done. So far we've gone through the Cracked and Crooked Manse most recently. There will be some repercussions from that playthrough that we'll have to get to in a moment. And we also have played Mr. Corbett. All of these are available on the Chaosium YouTube channel. And if you enjoy the content, make sure you leave a comment and let us know. As always, we want to thank Roll20, Sirenscape, and Web Captioner. These three are all great tools which we use to run Call of Cthulhu. There's links to everything I've mentioned so far in the description. So, as we jump into the scenario today, the three of you are in an automobile and you're trundling down the highway bound for the Wellington Manor in Hampton, New York. An old friend of Dr. Brad Fogarty has made an astounding discovery, but we'll get to that in just a moment. So, as each of you introduce your investigators, could you kind of describe them for us? And also let me know what's happened in the 6 to 8 months since the events of the Cracked and Crooked Manse. Now, how that resolved was the mansion fell almost on several of you, and you were explicitly told not to let it do so. So I want to know what happens. Do you have to like dodge legal letters? Have you changed identities? What have you needed to do to make sure you don't spend some time in prison? Art, why don't you go ahead and start?
Hey, I'm Art, and I am playing Monkey. I'm going to turn my captioning on. I should have done that earlier. Monkey is young adult, but passes for anywhere between like 13 to something, depending on who's looking. Small, slight, kind of scrappy looking, in a motley assortment of clothing. None of which fits perfectly, but all of which suits. And what has Monkey been doing in the last 6 to 8 months?
Yep.
Well, Monkey's profession is an acrobat. The traveling circus. I would say, given the background, Monkey's got more than one place to lay low if necessary. So Monkey's probably been jumping around a couple of those, just keeping mum.
You're also definitely the hardest one.
I don't think Monkey's name was given.
No, only Monkey and cousin, actually child of Bradley Fogarty and Isabella Watch, so it doesn't make any sense. So I think they will struggle to find you. Do you have any guilt for dropping a house that wasn't yours?
No,
that's fair. There was a monster in it. That tracks. All right, perfect.
I'm pretty sure Monkey took some things from the house. Doesn't feel guilt about that either.
Well, it was an equal exchange of trophies. All right, perfect. So Monkey seated in the back, only recently returned from one of their circus voyages. Up next, Jackson.
Hey, that's me. I'm Jackson, and I'm playing Dr. Bradley Fogarty, psychologist to the stars. The stars that, you know, tend to align the mythos stars, as it were. I don't know, there was something in there. I was trying to loop it together. All right, that's good. I'll take it.
Cosmic stars, it's a thing.
Yeah, cosmic stars. Yeah.
Right.
That's right. He is, I think Isabella tends to do the driving, so he's probably like sitting in the car, leafing through some notebooks, scribbling some idle notes, while also probably dealing with most of the brunt of the fallout from the Cornthwaite house. I think probably being the only professional in the group, it's probably fallen to him to pick up the correspondence to the Dodge brothers, which he's been doing as cautiously and carefully as possible. Like maybe routing some letters through like another legal firm that he happens to know, like a lawyer friend of his owed him some favors. So all the correspondence is like going through a third party, but I think he probably had a pretty good chance of putting that whole thing to bed, just being like, well, if you get an architect or an engineer or a builder in there to look at the ruins, you'll clearly see the whole place was falling apart anyway, which it was, because the whole house was being supported by the creature.
Yeah.
And assuming we destroyed any evidence of the creature, it just seemed like the house just fell over.
I think
and no one was hurt.
I think, like, while talking to your lawyer, they'd propose, at least, if you were so bold, I mean, if the house is in such poor condition and you were sent into it, really you should be trying to sue them.
Exactly right. I'll make that very clear to them. But, you know, these legal matters, I think it's probably maybe not put to bed yet, because these legal matters tend to take a long time
and the
to
Dodge brothers
argue.
have nothing but time.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Bickering. Dr. Fogarty, didn't your original introduction from the Gateways to Terror scenario have you doing a favor for a lawyer?
Oh, it did too, right?
That's
that was
true.
the beginning.
You have the services of someone ready to go.
That works out pretty well, actually, yeah.
Excellent.
You have some very
I
strange
remember,
friends, Dr. Bradley.
I think I have those notes. No, I don't. That's all right. Yeah, happy days. Yeah, I think that's all of your questions.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's it.
Am I free to go?
You're relieved, Jackson.
Okay,
Next
great.
up, Jim.
Yes, that's me. I'm Jim. I'm playing Isabella, and so obviously I'm an explorer. I am a brave and adventurous woman who voyages throughout the secret places of the earth. And the funny thing about those secret places is they tend to be very, very difficult to reach via the post. So what I did is I was planning an expedition last time, which is why I got plus 10 to my credit rating. And I think I prepared for said expedition, and I moved up the timeline. I'll go there and set up base camps and get in contact with local guides and things like that. So I promptly left the country and routed all of my mail to the officers that were managing the expedition, and had them deal with the headache. And of course, they couldn't really get me out of, I was doing all the work. So I failed my credit rating check this time and got nothing. And I think that's because once I got back, they were like, you cost us a lot of money in legal fees. We're not paying you anymore. But I think that I've managed to play, sufficient dodgeball that I've sort of gotten rid of the problem, at least for now.
All right, I think that'll work. I have to ask, where have you been? What have you been doing?
I think I went into Central Africa, traveling into the Congo, or I'm afraid I'm not completely up to date on what the naming conventions were during the 1920s, but all throughout there.
Yeah, touring around, having a look, see what's going on. So you've only just recently returned, but sort of,
probably be back for a month or so,
Yeah, fantastic. And it's, you only get a few days on the ground before Bradley gets in contact with you. Because it's Dr. Fogarty who's received 2 letters, but we're only going to address the second for the moment. One is tucked into his coat pocket and is being played a little close to the chest. But the second, a telegram, all 3 of you have had a chance to take a look at. And as we begin, James, could you actually read out the handout for us so that the viewers are brought up to speed?
Why, certainly. As soon as I can see it on the screen, I will do
Please
so.
use a transatlantic accent for the transatlantic area.
Transatlantic accent? I can never remember those. All right, so we are ignoring the first one, and we will be reading the second. All right.
Correctamundo.
So,
That doesn't work.
March 30th, 1925. I have done it. Stop. I have made the greatest scientific discovery of all time. Stop. I need your help. Please come Friday, April 3rd, 5 p.m. to Wellington Manor, Hampton, New York, 12852. Stop. It is of the utmost importance. Stop. Kenneth Connor.
So Kenneth Connolly is an old friend of Dr. Fogarty's. They went to university for a time. They were very chummy. Since then, they've gone on to exchange Christmas cards and things. But as with all things, as you get older, it's tougher to see people. And he lives, in another state. To you, and you just try to catch up when you can. What's the atmosphere like in the car as you trundle along? You're getting close now. You're going to stop in at a gas station to refill, and then you should be at the manor in the next 20-30 minutes.
I think I'm a little excited. I tend to. I've gotten out of these scrapes before without anything too disastrous happening, and I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie. So I'm making conversation. I think I'm poking fun at cousin Bradley. I didn't know you had any friends, so don't take that the wrong way. It's simply, you're always working so hard. And but when was the last time you saw this chap?
Well, it would have been many years ago, I believe. Probably not since the university days. Kept in touch somewhat.
What did the two of you keep in touch about? What's a fun conversation in the life of Dr. Fogarty and this fine gentleman?
Well, mostly just forward each other articles.
I see.
It's
Wow.
that's a cornerstone of any healthy relationship, I find, at least.
I see. Well, perhaps that's why I've never been lucky in love. I've never forwarded someone an article.
Oh yes, well, if you find a romantic kind of piece, then it's one of the dearest expressions of love you can hope to make.
The Scientific American is positively brimming with expressions of joy. Well,
Cousin Isabella, stop being mean to Uncle Brad. He has friends. They're called books.
very true. Very true. I apologize, Bradley, and please send my best to the books.
Holy shit.
Well, let's fill up the car. We try and get here. Experimentation is the greatest discovery of all time. Do you know what field this fellow was in?
Do I?
Physics.
Oh, just general physics.
Physics, maths,
So-
that sort of thing. He was a very calculating man. Very intelligent.
Physics, maths, that kind of thing. Hopefully, it's a little
Great
bit more
discovery in the
practical.
field of physics. Well, I hope we can understand it, and it won't be a long trip to read articles. But I assume the man's, got an interesting house at least. Probably, tends to live in villages. Probably a nice pub.
What have
Right.
you told the others, Bradley? Why have you requested they come? And I'm aware I'm kind of throwing you
Well-
under the bus a bit here because they have to for the scenario.
Because I've got that feeling that this is yet another Mansion of Madness that needs to be solved.
Tra-
And I think there was a time when Bradley thought that he'd just go and handle this himself, because he does feel a little bit of guilt and horror over what happened last time. The fact that these two almost got trapped under a house, crushed by a house, and he was almost going to go on his own until he thought, well, no, we only got out of that one because
Yeah.
all three of us were there together. And if I go alone, then I'm probably going to end up under the next house. So
That's
much
it's
as
good logic.
much as it brings me anxiety and trepidation, I think all three of us together, we've done this kind of thing before, so we've probably got a better chance of survival if we all go together.
Look, there's a house involved. You're not really very good if you don't have keys.
Very true.
That's true. That's true.
Need that kind of assistance.
All right. No, that all makes sense. So as you arrive in the small town of Hampton, it's in a sort of a heavily forested region, lush green trees, a very charming little area. There's children playing in a small yard nearby, and three of you pull into a gas station to refuel the automobile. The local bloke in charge of it, older fellow, big bushy mustache and white hair, which he's slicked back and pushed down, is happy to just talk to you. He's very affable. And as you come in, he goes like, you'll be heading up to the manor as well. Gotten a few of you today. Must be something or another going on.
As well, yes, we're visiting an old friend, Dr. Kenneth Connolly. You know him?
Oh, of course. He just comes down whenever he can, buys the paper and some milk before heading back up to the house. He always said he likes to walk.
And he's invited a few people around.
Yes. No, there's a few other, an older fellow and a smaller, slightly weaselly woman. I don't mean to be rude. It's just the first thing that came to mind.
I
I like
understand.
weasels.
Oh, that's good. You'll get on like a house on fire then.
Perhaps,
Probably.
Perhaps he's simply showing off his work to some additional people. Well, should we bring him up some milk and a paper then? It seems like the polite thing to do.
It certainly did.
All right,
Sure,
thank you. Yes, please. Then I'll buy whatever his usual order is. Hand it over, and we'll make our way up.
Yeah, perfect. You get a couple of bottles of milk and the most recent newspaper. Chuck it on your arm, and once the vehicle is refilled, rolls out of the station and up into the more isolated streets. Yeah, Jim.
As we start going through the isolated streets, I'd like to just take a peek out the window. I'm looking at the sky above, because I've tended to find in these mansions of madness that right when everything's about to get sinister, the weather changes to some kind of drizzle or grey clouds. How's it looking? Nice day?
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
Make a. What's your natural world skill?
The natural world is
Pretty
my
good,
best
right?
skill.
Yeah, go ahead and give me one of those.
All right, let's do it. I just check if this happens to be a storm on the horizon. But God, wouldn't it be great if this was actually useful? Ah, cool.
Close.
Can I
It
push
is. Yeah, if you push it and fail, I'm putting a storm in, even if there wasn't one.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. That
Okay.
sounds
So
great.
first of all, no, it is charming weather. It's very nice, clear skies. It's early afternoon. You'll be expecting to have lunch when you arrive. Beautiful weather, really lovely day. If you push this roll, James, I'm going to put
Yeah.
a storm in.
It's fine.
All right.
There we go.
No, it really seems pretty good. It's probably going to hold, and it's expected. The forecast reads for several days. It will continue to be pleasant. It's sort of got to jump time zones. What's March in America? Any for in March? Spring?
Just
Springtime.
coming out of winter.
Yeah. So it's really nice.
Trees are
Trees
cold
beginning to
spring.
blood. Yeah,
Or
that's
if
it.
it's towards the end of March, then yeah, it's like been a full month of spring.
Yeah, exactly. All right, you begin to drive up and towards the Wellington Manor. It's sequestered away in deep woods, and eventually they fall away to reveal a walled estate, inside which there is a tall Georgian-style structure. Several cars are parked out the front, including a larger pickup truck, and as your car pulls in and finds a spot, a gentleman with very clean, shaved face, pushed down hair, and wearing a sort of like a tuxedo, but one like the help might wear, comes out, and he's got a small platter with drinks on it as he makes his way down the steps. The only thing to note is this is a really big dude. He is massive, very muscled. And he comes out and he stands just off to the side as you park the car and make your exits.
Well, hello
Wait.
there.
Before we get out,
Yep.
Isabella can get out and say hello, but before we do, I'm
Wait.
just gonna like pat the back of Bradley's head, because I'm in the back, I assume. Good. Uncle Brad,
Yes.
did you get anything else from your friend that would explain why there are extra people here today?
Well, it was a telegram, but presumably he sent out multiple copies to multiple people, whoever he wanted to share this discovery with.
Okay. Monkey will swing themselves out through the window.
Okay. Yep. You vault
Amazing.
out and onto the ground, and the gentleman sort of sees you land and nods somewhat appreciatively. Appreciate the skill, and then offers the three of you sort of like a flute of champagne. As he does, he says, "Good evening, good afternoon. Sorry, time of day. Welcome to the Wellington Manor. If the three of you would like to follow me inside, the other guests have already arrived, and we are having drinks in the patio.
Other guests, is there an event to be held, a formal proceeding to the afternoon that we should be aware of?
Yes, well, Dr. Connolly has several guests here he wanted to entertain for lunch.
I see. Well, lunch, I can deal with lunch. In we go, Bradley. It seems you'll have an opportunity to make some more friends.
Let's, yes.
The gentleman.
Sorry, I didn't catch your name. Good fella.
Sorry, William Feder, and he shakes your hand with a firm grip and says, I do the groundskeeping around here, and when necessary, I help to entertain as well. You can see he's a little uncomfortable in the role of, I suppose, like the host and butler. Yeah, he looks like he's more typically sort of out in the fields. He turns towards the house and walks the three of you up the stairs and inside. It's a lovely home. Multiple stories, 3 going all the way up, and as you go in through the foyer, he takes each of your coats and hangs them in a nearby cupboard. There's a large set of stairs in the center that curl upwards, and you can see across the other side of the house where it opens up through large open doors, there's a dining room, and on the other side, a veranda, seated on which are several other party members. There is a young, bespectacled woman who, were you cruel, might note looks slightly weaselish. There is an older, mustachioed man, quite rotund, who's working his way through what's probably his 3rd sweet pastry. And there is a beautiful, dark-haired woman who is entertaining the other 2 with an amusing story. The butler, William, walks you in and will introduce the 3 of you, but actually only knows Dr. Fogarty's name. He says, good afternoon, if I could have your attention for a moment, Dr. Fogarty and his companions have arrived. The dark-haired woman stands up and offers you her hand, Bradley, and says, charmed, I'm Claire Whitley. These 2 are Ms. Diana Carlson, and this is Dr. Seamus Quinn. Quinn holds up his tea cup in a salute and mutters a pleased to meet you. And Diana nods quite sternly and says, well, I think we should be getting on with things soon then. If everyone's here, I understand there's been a rather tremendous discovery that's been made. Seamus sort of, pleasure. There's time. We'll get to such things. I'd like to meet Dr. Fogarty and his companions. What is it that you do, Doctor?
Oh, well, I'm a psychologist of sorts out of Boston, and, well, I'm here with my good companions. This is Ms. Isabella Watch and my nibbling monkey.
And pleased to meet the 2 of you. Tell me then, Doctor, what am I thinking just now?
Oh, I roll psychoanalysis.
Go for it. It'd be psychology more this one. Psychoanalysis will let you know if he's insane or if, you know.
Excellent. Success. I know exactly what he's thinking.
That's how it works.
It's probably more that you can see the breadcrumbs all down his shirt, and there's one more pastry that's been politely left for probably one of the 3 of you. He's probably thinking of having it.
Doctor, I believe that you have your heart set on that pastry on the tray there.
He stands up and claps loudly, and then as the other 2 are like, he reaches over to take it. He goes, amazing, marvelous. I mean, they say the psychoanalysis and things aren't really practical subjects, and there's little to be, known there. And I myself, as a man of,
I do find quite the opposite.
No, sorry, you go ahead, sir. I apologize. I wouldn't dream of speaking over you for a 3rd time. It's really, it's yours. The floor's yours, sir. The floor's yours.
Oh, yes. No, well, I feel quite the opposite. But I didn't catch, what was you're a physicist, like Dr. Connolly, is that right?
Professor, sir. A physics professor. By understanding the minute calculations of the universe, I believe anything I set my mind to can really be understood fairly simply.
And as someone in the same field as our host, do you have any insight as to the nature of his discovery?
Oh, not a thing. Old Connolly was something of a madman, a rake. He was always often dreaming of tremendous inventions. I never understood any to have come to such fruition. I know he retired some years ago. The pretty woman, Whitley, nods as well and says, yes, I'm, as I understood it, he was working on some device, is all I understood.
Device.
Just to, she stands up and she pauses for a moment. Just, all of you received a telegram, true?
Quite, yes.
He did.
Of course, more guess. Okay, well, no mind. Just, we'll, why don't we go and have a look at, what he was working on? And, he should be down, shortly. And she looks to William, who nods as well and says, I'll go and see if he's ready to show you what he's been working on. He stands up and retreats. Diana, leans over to, the two of you, Isabella and Monkey, and says, I'm sorry, and what do the two of you do?
I kind of look towards Monkey to answer first.
And I will point this in the doctor's direction as well, but are you also a physicist?
I am a physics teacher, yes, but I teach high school. Not quite as illustrious as a professor.
Are you
here.
a practical or theoretical physicist?
Practical.
Cool, so am I.
You're a trained physicist. You forgive
I
me, but you're
use
very young.
physics.
I believe, and she pauses for a moment, I believe you're trying to twist my words. Are you some sort of comedian?
I'm an acrobat in a circus.
Oh, I see.
Physics is kind of important for my job.
How fun. And she turns to Isabella as well. Are you also an acrobat?
Would that I be so lucky. I am an explorer, adventurer. Just returned from the Belgian Congo, actually, on an expedition with, and I start rattling off a couple of credentialed names. Isabella's quite happy with herself and thinks that her profession will impress. Maybe it will not.
Yeah, and you know quite a few people, and you have been on impressive journeys. Diana is impressed by it. It's not her field. She is also tied to physics and such things, and she is a bit distracted, but she nods along and asks a few questions, just enough to show interest. She seems rather bemused with Monkey and the connection from acrobat to physicist. Quinn, who caught some part of the back and forth, is laughing quite hard, though. He's enjoying it very much. William doesn't return for a moment, and the three of you are escorted across by Claire, to the library, inside which you can see there is a large room filled to the brim with books. Additionally, jumbled in the center of it is this pile of like strange machinery. There's stuff that looks like it was ripped out of a machine shop, along with electrical parts and like random, like probably like bits of like old radios and things have been disassembled, wires scattered across, and it dominates the bulk of the room. Diana and the large Dr. Seamus both rush over to it immediately and begin to sort of carefully but excitedly try and figure out what it was that he was working on, as Claire steps back for a moment and seems to be just taking it in more slowly and more practically. What do the three of you instinctively do?
I go over to tease Bradley, as is my instinct, so I will nudge him as we go in and gesture at the bookshelves and say, Bradley, all your friends are here.
Delightful, Isabella. Still just as amusing as the first 12 times.
I'm gonna go up to Claire.
Yep.
And just be like, excuse me, you're very pretty. What's your name?
Oh, I'm Claire Whitley. You're quite a handsome young creature as well.
Thank you. What do you do?
Oh, I'm a physicist as well. I'm afraid I'm not quite as decorated as the other two here, but I was a student of Dr. Connolly's for some time, and I was hoping that with some insight here, I might be fast-tracked through to finishing my degree and possibly getting a teaching position.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
What is it?
What is what?
That thing.
I'm afraid I don't know. Seamus from the front says, well, clearly it's some sort of device. And Diana, like, boggled, buries her head back into it and says, well, he has to have some notes somewhere. And Claire says, no mind, he'll be down in just a moment. I'm sure he can explain everything. She continues to talk to you, though, Monkey, and she's very, very happy to talk. And she will actually say, I heard you said you were an acrobat. Is that right?
Yes.
Fascinating.
I travel around with the circus. Mostly high wire acrobatics.
That's amazing.
So physics is important when you're trying not to topple, and then physics is really important if you hit the ground.
Amazing. I'd always be terrified to do such a thing. I've always loved the circus when I was younger. I used to dream of walking the trapeze or something, but never came to be. I don't quite have the gumption for it.
Well, and Monkey would just kind of grin and then do like a couple of backflips.
Oh wow!
Like one-handed, no-handed, like the kind of just like tumble, which is very, I would imagine, incredibly basic. Like the first thing you would.
Oh yeah.
Do. And then just kind of, and then walks back over and is just like.
Claire lets out like a sort of uncontrolled, like a small gasp, there's an exclamation of like delight that they possibly tried to slightly suppress, and then she claps a little bit and just leans and says, that was amazing. I would love to see you perform sometime. If your circus is ever anywhere near New York, you have to let me know. She will actually take out a small piece of paper and write an address on it. And pass it over to you. It's for a hotel in New York. She says, I'm here almost all the time. Please do get in touch. Just pass it over to you. Meanwhile, apart from friendly ribbing, Isabella and Bradley, what are the two of you up to?
Bradley, let's try and figure out what this thing does. Come on,
Well,
put our minds to it.
I think we hardly have the qualifications to do so. Maybe we should leave it to Dr. Connolly to explain exactly what it is we're looking at here.
And we're not going to break anything. We're just, sometimes I think qualifications, knowledge, they get in the way. These people, they become caught up in their ideas. Nothing like is sort of peering at something. Come on, that's obviously the front.
Well, I just prefer if you didn't touch anything for now.
Oh, of course, Bradley. Far be it from me. Come on, help me with it. Dave, mechanical repair?
Yeah, I'll take mechanical repair. Hell yeah, that'll get you something. Diana. Oh, that's pretty good.
I'm gonna luck that. I'll tell you what, Dave. I don't have a ton of luck, but my mechanical repair is so pathetic. I might luck this to an extreme just so I can flex.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's what it's for.
Yeah, I bend down amongst the physicists and try and figure out what it does.
So as you approach, first of all, I'll describe the device a little bit more. Basically, it's a, there appears to be like, it seems to be something worn. There's a helmet, gloves, and what appears to be some sort of a backpack. And the whole thing is sort of like hooked and attached together into basically like a suit or an exoskeleton that you might wear. As you lean down, Diana very curtly sort of doesn't bat your hands away, but holds it over just to stop you from, she's kind of trying to stop you from doing anything too stupid. But Seamus elbows you and just sort of does like a bit of a get amongst it. And you can have a closer look. With your success, you can tell, first of all, the whole thing seems to be powered by one piece of technology in the backpack, which is basically a battery for the whole thing. Additionally,
backpack?
Yeah, which sort of like hooks onto the whole thing. Additionally, as you begin to go over it, it appears to create some sort of like electromagnetic science jumbo field around the whole thing, and the backpack appears to actually like counter it and contain it, so that only this whatever effect is caused is centered around the suit and the wearer inside it only. Additionally, there's some notes and pieces of paper nearby which are just like calculations and formulae and all sorts of nonsense, which might not, you're more looking at the practical thing, but Bradley and Diana going over it can see it's reading things like, the modifications have enabled an oscillating frequency to compensate for temporal shift. The gravity dampener maintains the core polarity at 98.4% repeating, and like thousands of calculations. This is incredibly complex, and each formula spans like multiple pages all scattered around, and there's sticky notes on everything, or the equivalent of sticky notes. It's shocking the amount of research that must have gone into creating whatever this is. Go ahead.
Can I follow up my successful? I've managed to figure out one or two things out by trying to sound really smart. I want these people to think that like, oh, of course, I'm just sort of casually referencing things. Like I spotted a word or two on the notes, and I'll say, obviously, well, the power source is where we should be looking, and go straight to the. I'd like to just convince everyone that I'm totally on top of this. You want a fast talk?
Yeah, fast talk works really well for that. That's great.
All right, let's go for fast talk as soon as I can bloody find it. Just one moment. Here we go. Oh, you can have luck for that.
Okay, all right.
Really? 9 points of luck? You won't need that?
I want to be successful.
Luck should be used for flexing.
We've had very little luck at the end of last session, and I bet you don't have much more.
Well, let's see if I have to make a luck check.
All right. No, that's good. You start off by just pointing out a few things, and you're actually able to draw attention to pieces that Diana and Seamus had missed. And then after pointing out, if Diana tries to kind of question you on a couple, and you, having checked the notes, and also just from a more practical sense, your head's just like, that wouldn't fit, so that doesn't work. Obviously, the helmet goes on the head. You're able to twist that into some sort of sciencey mumbo jumbo, and by the end, you've kind of ingratiated yourself into their little trio, and they're bouncing ideas off you as well. The general consensus is whatever this thing is doesn't work, is what Seamus believes, and Diana kind of agrees with it. It seems to be it was trying to like disrupt reality around it, or like contain, like take physics and invert them in key places, and basically it's all theoretical, and it shouldn't and won't work. And by the time you can hear footsteps approaching, they are intrigued by it, but ultimately are dismissing it as practical in any way. So Isabella used to ingratiate herself. Monkey, you're kind of talking to Claire. Dr. Fogarty, what are you doing?
I'm kind of trying to keep an eye on Isabella to make sure she doesn't break anything. While also looking about the room. You said, were you in a library or a study of some kind?
Yeah, a library, a large books all around the outside, large windows that look out towards the garden, and a sitting area just in front of it. There's some refreshments scattered about, and what dominates the scene though is this large device splayed out on the table.
To be honest, if I've gotten away from any social, obligations to talk to people, I might have a quick sticky beak around the room looking for personal effects and see what the doctor was up to and what was his state of mind most recently.
Brad's gonna go talk to his friends.
I could take, it would be a hard psychoanalysis if you wanted to get or psychology, either or, to get a read on the man based on the state of the home. Actually, probably just normal. Hard but hard and extreme will get you more information because this is kind of gated. Or you could do library use to just have a look through his books and things. Up to you.
I'll go for psychoanalysis. Get a read on the man.
Okay, go for it.
Hard success.
Okay.
There you go.
On the surface, the read you get is definitely this man had previous hobbies. He inherited this home or something from his family, so there are relics of like just childhood books and collected short stories and things. But physics dominates his life, and that matches with the man you used to know. On the surface, the story's pretty clear, is that this device in the center kind of dominated his mind, and he has moved things away to compensate for it. Books have been pushed away, and the area is now less practical as a reading space, and it's being repurposed slightly as a sort of a laboratory, I guess. Below that, though, and only with a hard success, it appears sanitized, for lack of a better word. This place is not although it is kind of cluttered, it's all in the center. The mess does not extend past where the device is located. This is not like a madman's, you tear the house apart, dedicate everything to this. It's been cleaned outside of that. Area's been dusted quite neatly. The chairs are out of the way but pushed against the wall to be practical. And you got the sense from the rest of the house as well as you walked through. Everything was very neat and sanitized, kind of the word. So possibly it was in a state of disarray, but it's been cleaned up and reorganized.
It's utterly fascinating, and I'm making many notes on the man.
Very good.
Dave,
Yeah, Jim.
I couldn't quickly, just as we're sort of sitting around looking, I'm watching the chair and having a think. This device couldn't already be in operation, could it? Can I surreptitiously just kind of reach in and poke towards the chair just to see? I'm not going to touch anything, but if there was someone sitting in the chair who'd been turned invisible or something, I might feel them.
Yeah, I mean, you can go towards the chair, and there's a moment of trepidation. You almost think you can feel a breeze, and then you waft your hand through it, and there's nothing there. Okay. Do you want to give me a spot hidden roll, though, to kind of assess the area?
Yeah, sure. That sounds good. I'll give you a spot hidden roll.
As looking for invisible people.
Nah.
I don't think so.
And when you say it like that, you make me sound silly, don't you?
You sound crazy. You're also focused on talking with the others. So you're just occasionally looking up, and then Diana will snap something at you, and you're sort of drawn back into the conversation. I guess the downside of having all these friends. I
was just wondering whether, given Monkey's propensity to look for shiny things, whether there is any chance of essentially being able to do a very similar thing, like, having a look for interesting, unusual, shiny things.
You could make, there are knickknacks along the walls. The most shiny things are all pieces of this device. If you want to pocket one of those, I'll need a sleight of hand roll.
I mean, if there's like a small... Monkey doesn't probably know what this is, but like transistor or something, I'll give it a go.
All right, give a sleight of hand roll.
Okay.
You love me, really?
All right. As the
that
three,
face is keep being like, fuck you.
As the three, I'm including Isabella amongst the group of physicists now, because I guess that's going. So as the three physicists, one of them being an explorer, really, are gathered around it closely. Bradley's walking around the room, taking in the library, and Claire moves forward along with you, Monkey, to kind of join this group talking in the center. You reach out and you palm a small, like a diode or something, like a little crystal piece that looks fairly bloody integral to the device. You just click it out, slide it into your hand, and then as you raise your hand up, it falls down your sleeve and into a pocket sewn into one of the jackets. You have no idea exactly what it'll do, and the whole thing might explode at some point, but it was shiny and it's yours. No one is the wiser.
I think there's also like a tiny thing where Monkey's like, this is fine, but probably shouldn't be operational unless the person who made it is nearby. Removing things from like mechanical devices usually just renders them inoperable.
Yep. Good logic. We'll see what happens. As is happening, Isabella, you also notice that there are, it's actually Claire that draws the attention to it. There are things scratched into the surface of the device, like little symbols and things, which no one immediately recognizes, although Seamus looks closer and thinks it might be Latin that he's going to begin to try and translate. At this point, though, the footsteps enter, and William, returns. He opens the door and looks a bit like confused. He says, he's not here. No one saw anyone leave, did they?
No, we've been here the whole time. Perhaps he's gone for a quick walk to clear his head before making a grand speech.
He steps back outside and the door's open now and he looks back and forth and goes, no, he's not here. I can't imagine where he would have gone. Claire stands up and kind of just, everyone just take a moment. Everyone calm down. He can't have gotten far. And the butler sort of goes, what about whatever that thing is? What if he did something? I mean, he's been working on it for years. And Claire goes, it's inoperable. It can't work. I'm the physicists and I've been looking at it, and whatever this is wouldn't have worked. And the butler just pauses and he's just taking in everything, and he says, I'm gonna search the house, make sure he's not pulling something, but this isn't like him. If anyone sees anything, please.
We can certainly lend a hand if you like. If you'd like a hand searching, then we can do that.
Yes, listen, and Claire chimes up against you and says, yes, no, that you're right, Bradley, thank you. If everyone can have a look around the house, and also, listen, I am the first to admit, I'm still learning. I don't fully understand this device or what he was working on, but perhaps if we understand what it does, what it is, maybe we can... He mentioned a while ago to me theories about, it's gonna sound mad, and Seamus goes, out with it. He talked about time travel and shifting forward and back through time into adjacent realities or spaces. I always took it as just, well, theoretical, but...
So he's like jumped trouser legs or something?
What?
The trouser legs of time. Decisions are made and things split. And then you go in two different directions. When a decision is made, you can jump between the trouser legs of time so that you get different... Never mind.
Diana, like,
someone explained it to me once, or I read it in a book. I'm not sure.
I suppose I mean, this is why maybe you were called here. Is I don't know how to begin, but if we can find him, then maybe we can put this all to rest. The butler steps back and says, I'm going to do a once around the grounds, and I'm going to begin in the house. Everyone, please, anything you can find, I'll be available.
Yes, my good man. Wait, I'll come with you. Give me just a moment, and perhaps you can answer some questions that might help us find him. And I'll quickly turn to my companions, and kind of draw them away for a second. I want to give a quick whispered word or two, if that's possible.
It would be fairly pointed at the moment to gather everyone and step away. Diana and Seamus are arguing with one another almost immediately about how time travel just doesn't make any sense and isn't remotely possible. Seamus seems slightly more open to the idea and is entertaining it, and Diana just keeps on shutting him down and saying no. But Claire and the butler are present and kind of engaged with the three of you currently talking.
Sure. In which case, I'll just publicly say, I'll say to Bradley, Bradley, you speak in Latin, cousin?
Do I? I don't think so. Oh yes, just a smattering.
There's markings on the chair. Perhaps you can take a look at that, and then I'll turn to Monkey and say, you couldn't just we wouldn't want to you to run into any trouble. Do you just want to stay here and keep an eye on the machine? And what I'm trying to get across to Monkey is keep an eye on the machine, because I don't want anyone to mess with it, and I'm happy to make a fast talk to try and get that across so that Claire doesn't pick up. That's what I'm saying.
Yep, that's perfect. Can you give me a fast talk, bro?
Absolutely.
Yes, good idea. Tell Monkey not to have anyone mess with the machine.
With that, you get the point across. The message is delivered, but
Claire will, yeah.
Well, it was kind of like stay here, and it makes sense. It's not illogical, and they don't push the issue or anything. They just probably hit.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
And then I'll duck off with the groundskeeper.
All right. William steps outside, and you follow along with him, and you're going to do a tour of the outside of the house and head up. The three of you also have like your bags and things. You're a bit out of town, and you were planning to stay here overnight and possibly for a couple of days, depending on what the event was. So Claire, who's already gotten her things up and into her room, says, "Well, listen, this might not be resolved immediately. Monkey, would you like? Oh, sorry." And then they kind of wink conspiratorially at you. Then she turns to Bradley and says, "Dr. Fogarty, would you like to collect your belongings, and I'll show you to your rooms?"
Yes, that'd be fine. Give me one moment, and I'll look at whatever it was that Isabella was pointing me towards. Some kind of Latin on the chair.
There's like scratchings on the suit itself, which appear to be written in possibly like Latin or maybe Greek. You can give me a Latin roll though.
I will. I don't have high hopes. Got a Latin of 10.
No, well, better than
miles away. I
Not a whole lot.
mean, with a Latin of 10, that makes me think that, like, with a dictionary in a few hours, I might make some headway.
And there are dictionaries, and possibly there is time. You recognize,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like long sentences. They're individual words. And given it's Latin, you can get like some of them because there are connections. You see things like what look like space and maybe like time, things like that. Individual words scratched into the edge in Latin. You're able to get that before.
Yes.
I guess if you'll accompany Claire.
Yes. There is some Latin here. I think maybe with a dictionary in a few hours, I might be able to provide a basic translation.
Seamus goes, "A dictionary, far! I'll have it translated in 10. And he sits himself down in front of it, gets out a roll of paper, and begins to scratch down words onto it. He seems fairly capable. They're all intelligent people. He's just going,
Well, I don't know if physicists went into Latin. I thought that was more of a liberal arts thing. That's all right.
In the 1920s, I'm pretty sure everyone learned Latin.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Physics is practically a liberal art. It's one of the soft sciences.
Just before you leave, Diana looks under the table and she's searching around, and she goes, he would have had a journal somewhere with his notes, his thoughts. Has anyone seen a journal? A journal? We're looking for a journal. And then she begins to like look around for one.
I mean, if I'm staying in the room, I guess I can help do that.
Sure. Okay. Monkey, you're going to stay in the room and possibly help looking for a journal, just anything else in the area. Bradley, you're going out, and we'll come back to you in a moment. You're going to get your things from the car and then go upstairs to be shown to the rooms. Isabella,
Yes.
You go outside the front of the house and then begin to walk around. I'm going to quickly throw you all to a map of the outside.
Sure, I have some questions to this gentleman as well, which I'd love to
Perfect. All
hit
right.
him with.
Are y'all able to see that as I whip the stream across? All right, so this is the rough layout of the house. The top left one is an old barn or stable. You can see the cars parked outside, and then the house itself dominates the view. There's small gardens around it as well. It's a very pretty estate. The man you're working with is going to just do a circuit around the house itself, not going any further, but you do have the measure of the area. And then he's going to go back inside and begin to go from the first level up to the second. But you can talk to him as you go. He seems fairly focused on his work, but what do you want to say?
Where was the last time you saw him? When and where?
This morning, I took him lunch in his bedroom, but he's no longer there.
In his bedroom, and you were meant to you were meant to come and collect him once we'd all arrived?
As he was fairly clear on the matter. He wanted to prepare some notes, and he was building up towards a large presentation. He was excited, looking forward to seeing old friends, nervous a little, but excited.
I'm preparing notes in his bedroom. Well, could we have your blessing to visit his bedroom, and perhaps the notes that he was preparing could give us some insight?
Yes, of course. Anything that helps. Listen, if you like, I can take you up there. I just want to do it once around the grounds and make sure that he isn't out here somewhere. Otherwise, I can take you there now.
Please do. Let's do it once around the grounds. And the house, the stable over there. He couldn't have darted in.
Unlikely. It's just old knickknacks in there. It's in poor condition. I wouldn't recommend entering it. I've been meaning to get around to fixing it up for some time.
All right. Well, very good. I'll check. While he does the one round, can I check if I can see any footprints?
Yeah, make a track roll.
Yep. No.
There's the boot prints going to and from the cars and up, and then you can see a couple of tracks just around, but they don't tell a story. It's probably just the groundskeeper moving about, and there's no clear, like someone's scurrying off and into the woods.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, once he's done the ones around the place, I will go in with him up to the bedroom and try and collect those notes.
Okay. All right. So you go around, and as you're going to be heading back in just a moment. Bradley, you and Claire go out towards the car to load up on the suitcases and things. She takes a smaller one to help carry, but you've got the bulk of it. And as you move, she walks very close to you. You can smell the perfume wafting off her, and she says, were you close with Dr. Connolly?
Well, during our university days, yes, we were young men about town, as it were. Haven't kept in close contact since, so I'm afraid what he was doing here is as much a mystery to me as anyone.
A shame. I really only met him not long ago. I've only been studying under him for a few years, and then he retired. I always wished I could have gotten to know him better. You go up the stairs and towards the second level. One of them is the master bedroom, which the doors are closed. But she gestures to it, saying that is the master bedroom. And then she goes into the one of the bedrooms, where she'll have you put down your equipment. And there's enough rooms here that all the Diana and Seamus are both on the upper level. Claire and the three of you are all on the second level, where you all have your own rooms. As you go in and you begin to unpack your things, she sits on the bed just in front of you and seems to just be gazing at you and taking the measure of you. She pauses for a moment and she says, "Are you married, Dr. Fogarty?"
To the job, as it were.
Oh, I see. Must be hard sometimes, not having someone to talk to.
Oh, I have many people to talk to. As it happens, that's kind of the nature of the calling. I feel sufficiently fulfilled in that regard.
She kicks off her shoe and lets it sort of dangle on the edge of her feet, kind of just taking the measure of you again, and then pauses. Okay. She stands up with a snap, clicks her shoes together and says, "Listen, I'm going to go and have a look in the bedroom, see if he left anything, and then I might have a look around for anywhere else he may have stored a journal, I think. Would you like to join me?"
Quiet. Yes, that'd be fine. Just give me a moment to unpack a few things.
Oh, of course. I don't mean to pry. She steps out of the room. You hear the door slide closed, and then footsteps retreating.
I don't like her. I
unpack
think
that?
she's up to no good. No one would hit on Dr. Bradley Fogarty without an ulterior motive. I'm onto her.
Dr. Fogarty's self-esteem is somewhere down here. What's your appearance score, Dr. Fogarty?
Old. Tweed.
Old and tweed.
Old and tweed. I think that sums it up.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Appearance. Let me find it.
Oh, good God. Cousin Bradley.
Here we go. Oh, my goodness. 60. That's not bad. It's
pull
a
off the
slightly
tweed
above
well.
average.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're handsome.
A man's man.
55, mature. Finely aged.
Like a wine or a cheese. All right. Monkey, do you want to give me a spot hidden roll for having a look around the
Just confirming. we're not doing any kind of psychoanalysis or psychology to work out what the fuck that just was, because I have opinions that, as a player, that might not match what anyone else is thinking.
That's your
I might
full
do
toolkit.
that. Yeah.
Like,
So as she leaves, do you just sit on the bed for a moment?
she's either flirting with you because she fancies you, she's flirting with you because ulterior motives, or she's talking about love and that kind of thing because she liked the professor.
Possibly. I also like the idea that you were just so thrown by the event that you just everything just left your head. Like, why am I?
Yeah,
here?
that's why I said, give me a moment. I need to unpack this. I roll to unpack this.
Go for it. Roll a packing check.
Psychology.
Yeah.
If you fail, it'll be amazing. Yep.
Like
No
a
idea.
stunned mullet. Would you like to push the roll?
What is pushing the roll in this case? Running down the hall after her?
What do you mean? staring into the mirror and having an existential crisis, maybe.
Maybe
I think
I'll do that. Maybe
Yeah, you stand up and you stare into the mirror and you begin to take the moment. Yeah, I think it's
Tossing your hair.
You fail, you're gonna lose sanity.
yeah, that'll work. I think it's
Give it a go.
taking it up. Oh, holy
You
shit!
look in the mirror and you're like, yes, that's why.
I see it. I'm
Look at me.
hideous.
Okay, an extreme is good, man. Okay,
Yep.
there are a few levels to it, kind of as you anticipated. The first and the most obvious one does appear to be that she was basically just hitting on you. She was trying to just get a measure for you, not immediately clear to what end, and she was trying to, give off the air that she found you attractive. That does seem genuine. She didn't seem to be like, maybe she has a thing for older blokes. You're not 100% sure. Beneath that, though, there was definitely something a bit more calculating. She was doing it to an end. She was trying to get closer to you so that she could ask a favor, so that she could find out more information. You're not 100% sure, but she was definitely... Unfortunately, you're just too good at psychology, Dr. Fogarty. This is it. You can't let yourself believe, because unfortunately,
I could live in ignorance.
with an extreme success, you are aware that you were probably being manipulated. Damn.
Oh well. Maybe it's not the first time.
Maybe not.
I don't think we're that easy to work out if someone fancied you or not. You're like, I'm gonna make a roll.
Extreme psychology. Well, Dr. Fogarty reads the mind like a book.
Like
alright.
his best friend.
All right. Yeah. So you take a moment, and there may be some level of the attraction was genuine, but she does seem to have an ulterior motive and
Yes.
attempting to manipulate you and gain something. All right. Monkey down in the library. Dr. Seamus Quinn is tearing through the Latin, jotting down notes. Diana has stepped back up and is looking over the device, occasionally tutting in a way of like, this just won't work. But she seems to be curious despite herself. Neither of them are giving you too much mind. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna have a cursory glance for the journal.
Okay.
But I'm keeping an eye on both of them just to like make sure that I don't need to stop them from touching a thing.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense. Can you give me a spot hidden roll or library use? So either one suits.
My friends are not books; they're shiny things. Spot hidden. Hey.
Hey, that's good. Nice. All right. Give me a moment. Let's have a look at the old booksy.
If I'm allowed to appear nonchalant, then I will pick up like a couple of random items I don't know if they're valuable or not. I have no idea, but I must start juggling them.
Okay. Oh god. There you go, like walking along. All right, perfect.
Having a look under things, like, because again, this is one of those things that Monkey kind of just does.
It's also totally within your skill set to do. So, with a success on the spot hidden, You don't spot the journal around here. It's not next to the equipment. You see he's got dozens of books, and they range from, physics and all number of topics. There are no secret corridors or anything, and it appears that everything's been kind of gathered in the center. Actually quite well organized and collected. With your success, you don't believe that there is anything inside here. However, you hear footsteps walking past the door of someone walking along.
The door of
the
the
door
library.
just in the main room. Oh, and actually, speaking of which, let me throw you guys to another map. Let me know if you can see.
Was the door open?
It had been closed as Claire and Dr. Bradley left. Can you all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me throw it to the viewers. Cha-cha-cha. So the library. There are 3 floors. The library has currently Monkey, Claire, and Seamus are inside it. Isabella and Lee Butler are walking along the stairs, and on the upper level, Claire has just stepped back outside. And Fogarty is staring into the mirror trying to understand love.
It's a very investigative scenario. I like it. We're sort of just wandering through
Curious.
the mansion, and not everything's terrible. It's nice. I might have another champagne flute.
Get a little wild. Yeah, you have another flat champagne flute. You just hear footsteps going past. If you don't do anything, they recede, and then a moment later, let's go back to Isabella and the butler. So you've completed a circuit of the grounds. Nothing has been seen, and the butler, as you walk back inside, says, "You didn't know the man personally, did you?"
No, I'm afraid I didn't. He didn't say anything to you? Any information that could... You're worried he activated this device, yes?
I suppose it's I couldn't begin to understand what they're talking about. It doesn't seem real. It seems like something out of science fiction or a game.
No,
but
quite. I understand.
Apart from that, no, I don't, unfortunately.
The man didn't have a fascination with any particular eras of history, did he?
A fascination with eras. You don't mean he's jumped back to treat with Caesar or something, do you?
God, man, I could only guess, but we're talking in the realm of science fiction. We might as well go fully into it, might we not?
You're a physicist. Is that possible to move back and forth?
I'm not a physicist. I'm an explorer.
You know? Oh, you seem quite capable. Apologies.
No, it's quite all right. I don't know. So treat all possibilities. Look, I've had people go missing on expeditions. That's the wealth of experience I'm drawing from, and you have to assume that they've gone to try and conquer the mountain themselves, so to speak. Was there ever anything that the good doctor said to you? Any detail, however so minor, could be critical.
Let me think. He was excited, as I said. He was looking forward to meeting with all of you. He mentioned he was worried that a mistake might be made, that something could be accidentally activated, and he did something to prevent it happening. A failsafe or something. It was only this was a while ago, though, almost 2 months when he mentioned it. So he was
interesting.
Quite excited by it, though.
I see. Well, I'm sure we'll find him. Never fear. Regardless, if you give us access to his chambers, perhaps we can find some of his notes.
All right. Let's return inside. You walk inside, and he opens the door into the library just to take a look at everyone. Monkey, this is only moments after you stood up and had a search. What does everyone want to do?
Are the footsteps I heard a single set?
Yes. All right.
I am hoping with the juggling that I potentially have picked up something that might be valuable or important to the project, and have somewhat distracted the other two when they notice that I'm juggling potentially expensive things, so they're not as focused on trying to turn the machine on. And it's a misdirection tactic.
Oh,
Because
okay.
again, circus and magic and stuff,
If
misdirection.
you've taken one of the pieces from the device, it takes a moment for them to notice, and then Seamus, like, almost chokes a bit, and Diana lets out a scream. No, stupid child! She darts across the room and goes to grab it, but you are much faster than her, and as long as you want it, you could be doing this little charade. As Seamus stands up, his hands trembling. No! No! Diana follows you around the room trying to grab at it, and basically berating you until you try and put it down. It's at this point that the door swings open. Isabella and the butler step inside and can see Monkey walking around the extreme of the room while Diana tries to grab the device without breaking anything. You've got another one of just a nobbin or a bit. Which you're sending up into the air, and to your eyes, there's no risk of you dropping it because you know how you could be just as safely carrying it in your pocket. But they are getting a little shrill.
Step back. Have I appeared in this room, or am I still?
Yeah, you're back in the library.
Okay. I will tear forward as well. And I will say, Diana, step back. You risk provoking an accident. Monkey, please, if you would, flourish. And I'm trying to sort of coax towards the end of the performance.
Can I, because I've got a couple of things, only one of which isn't important.
Mm-hmm.
Can I toss the two unimportant things up in the air while like palming the important one so they don't see that that's not the thing that's
That
up
you've
in the
still
air?
got it.
Do a backflip and then flourish and catch the other two. Because if I fail, all that's going to happen is I'll break unimportant things.
Yep, make it. Again, I think it's, but the flipping and the flourishing is well within your wheelhouse. I won't get her off that. What I need is a sleight of hand roll to palm the object and get that away, because that's what their attention is on currently.
Oh, I'm not trying to palm it for the sake of like this is, I'm going to put it down. When I catch everything, I'll put it down. Because I'm assuming this is not the one that I pocketed earlier. This is a different
that's right.
thing.
It's an
Yeah,
extra.
so it's not, so this is more like, as I'm still having to make the roll, but it's just to be clear, it's a misdirection for effect, not a misdirection for stealing.
Yep, that's fine. In that case, then go just straight dexterity, I think, if you want to. Okay. Yep, perfect. Pulled off without a hitch.
I will laugh.
So yeah, do a backflip while things are in the air, like relishing the shriek that will inevitably come, and then grab everything and just put them very gently down on like a table or the floor or whatever in front of me as I take a bow and stand up.
Seamus manages to get back control of himself. Diana is just letting out a sort of high-pitched, pierced whistling sound, and Seamus sends, we cannot work with you in here. You need to go. You need to leave here, go somewhere else and do something. And he's beginning to like gesture Monkey to leave the room. As this happens, the butler William steps inside and says, why don't the two of you go look elsewhere in the house, and let's leave the physicists to their research. Okay, all right. He wheels the two of you out from the door and clicks it shut. Inside, you can just hear Diana vibrating. All right.
I will like nudge cousin Isabella, and then like palm the diode at her, and then put it back with hope. Like I would prefer William not to see, but I don't mind, so I'm happy to make a sleight of hand if that.
Yeah, make a sleight of hand roll if you don't want him to see.
With my mechanical repair check from earlier, my extreme success, do I know whether that will have sabotaged the device?
Yes, it will. In theory, it's inoperable without it. It was a piece that connected from the power supply through to the device itself.
I will kind of.
Okay.
Although we may.
Yeah, so with that, William will see it, unless you like to push the roll. He sees you reveal it. He doesn't necessarily know exactly what it does or anything, but he looks to you and he says, is there a reason you took that?
Sorry, what did you say?
Is there a reason you took that? Won't the physicists need it?
I
Well,
think that
that-
we'd like. Oh, sorry. After you, Monkey.
Oh, no, it just, well, you don't know what the device does, and we don't know what the device does, and they don't know what the device does, and what happens if they turn it on without knowing what it does? So, fail safe.
We just want to have a look at the notes before we start tinkering with things. The last thing we'd want, and I'm sure you agree, is if some disaster has occurred because of the device being operated, that it is immediately operated again and the same error occurs. I gave you the analogy of climbing a mountain earlier. The last thing you want to do if someone has climbed the mountain is to set off right after them without the preparation.
Suppose it's sensible. Then, do you have reason to... you don't doubt the physicist's abilities. You're just being safe.
I doubt their enthusiasm. That's it. Their abilities, well, they far surpass my own.
If
Sensible.
it makes you feel better, you can have it.
That
It
seems
would.
like an excellent idea. Perhaps, would you take it into your custody? Then perhaps you would
It
feel
would.
safest.
And I will. He takes out like a handkerchief from inside, unfurls it so that he can take the piece, folds it over, and slides it into his breast pocket.
Well, it's worth looking. It's worth looking upstairs then. If you can let us into the master bedroom, that would be
course.
wonderful.
He begins to walk up the stairs, and as this happens, Bradley, you are leaving the room. Claire is leaning against the banister, just swinging one of her legs and looking to you as you exit. She stands up and says, "Well then, shall we have a look around?"
Yes, perhaps if a journal is our objective, maybe the library is a fine place to start.
Oh, there's others in the library. And then she goes up and says, "Oh no, we have company." And the other three ascend the staircase so that all of you are standing on the second level. As Isabella and Monkey, you both approach, you can see Claire is standing right next to Bradley, almost within hand holding distance.
Who is very subtly leaning away from her. Let us be clear.
Chased around
Let
the
us be
mansion.
clear.
Bradley is married to his work.
That's right.
I nod at them both. Greetings. Well, we've no luck yet. Have the two of you found anything up here?
Well, no, I was just unpacking our things, but I think Miss
Whitley.
Miss Whitley has a promising lead. We just need to find a journal of some kind, so either the library or another study, perhaps, if there's a study area that could provide some clues as to the state of mind of Dr. Connolly, then that's a good place to start.
Apparently, Dr. Connolly was preparing notes in his bedroom, so I think that there would be an excellent
Yeah, that's quite right.
area. Listen, you don't terribly mind, do you? And I'll turn towards the groundskeeper.
Mm-hmm.
I know you mentioned that the house, the side of the property is fallen apart and no longer of interest. Was it built by any chance before the main property here, this house?
They were both built at the same time, but the other was not repaired.
I'm afraid I'm a little hung up on Mrs. Whitley's suggestion of temporal displacement. Monkey, you wouldn't mind going to have a look at the barn, would you? See if there's anything untoward about it?
Monkey isn't there. Hopefully.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Oh, wait. Sorry, where are you?
No, I was there.
Oh,
don't
you
worry.
were there, but you're gone, so I
okay,
turned
all
around.
right.
I'm hoping that Monkey's not there. But
Okay,
we'll see.
all right. What are you trying to do then?
All right.
Well, I noticed that everyone who has been anywhere has been somewhere together.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a ghost. Like, which direction were those footsteps going?
Make an
they-
listen or track roll, I think. It sounded like they were just going past the library.
I'll try the listen.
Go for it.
Oof.
Oof, and that's
That's a fumble.
a fumble. Okay, hell
That's
yeah.
a fumble.
Yeah, it is just because you're under 30. All right, that's actually fantastic. All right, Monkey is not there when as you go. Monkey, perhaps.
Well,
at this
then
point,
perhaps
William stands up and says, I might go see where they've gotten up to and check in on our physicists. And then Claire says, very good. He begins to head down the stairs, and he's walking back towards the library.
Did he
it's now Claire,
open the door to
Isabella,
the master
and Bradley.
bedroom?
Oh, he will. Yes, sorry. He can go back up.
Yeah.
Actually, he'll just pass you a key.
Excellent.
And then he heads downstairs and towards the library.
Which one is it?
It is this one here. Can you see that ping? And
This one here?
Yar. Let me go ahead and remove the door to it. Cha-ching. Actually,
Ooh.
Bradley, would you like to take a look? And I'll motion us both towards the master bedroom.
What? Yes, let's.
so let's remove our gentleman here. Monkey's also gone down a level. All right. Walking. Let's also just show the viewers quickly. So to reestablish, the two, Isabella, Claire, and Bradley have all gone into the master bedroom and bringing have a look around. Downstairs, Monkey has gone following after invisible footprints, and the two physicists are in the library, and the butler is following down after Monkey and to check in on our physicist. Looking in the room, there's a master bedroom. As soon as you walk inside, you recognize Dr. Connolly, Bradley, standing at the his dressing robe. It's open, and he's putting a shirt on. He's buttoning it up. He's facing away from you.
Kenneth, you've been in here the entire time. We're all looking for you.
He turns to see and goes, Bradley?
Yes, we've been downstairs for quite some time. William was worried you'd gone missing. Would you like to join us?
He walks across the room and like takes your hand and shakes it, but he's confused and he says, I what are you doing here?
Well, you sent us the telegram.
I'm sorry, I don't. When is it?
Oh God.
What's the date, Bradley?
When is it? Why, it's
I think it was like March 29th or something.
I've got the date here. It's a little after. It is April the 3rd.
early April.
Yeah, April the 3rd, 1925.
April the 3rd, I believe.
Just after 5 p.m.
No.
Just after 5 p.m.
My God, Bradley, do you know what this means? It means it's working.
I'm quite sure I have no idea. No.
I've done it, Bradley. You remember this, we used to have conversations about this sort of thing. The boundless reality and the potential for physics to push through boundaries. Bradley, I've traveled through time, and he takes his tie off and like victoriously pushes it into the ground. I've traveled through time, Bradley, or you have.
Well, that's quite delightful. Is he mad?
Yeah, make a psychoanalysis roll, or actually psychology.
What is Claire's reaction at this point?
You look around, and Claire has not come into the room.
Oh.
The door is closed behind you, and actually, now that you make the note, you
Isabella
heard it
come in as
heard
well?
it click shut. Yes, Isabella and Bradley are both in the room.
Click shut.
Yes. Not locked, just click closed.
Okay, that's weird.
14 points of
Or you
luck.
could push the roll.
I'll push it. I'll slap him.
Okay. Okay. Make it push the roll. Go.
Snap out of it, man.
Slap it, and he goes back. He's shocked for a moment, but you're like old friends. And he doesn't take any real offense. But he goes, sorry, excitable. I mean, this is the greatest discovery of the age. He goes, Lizzie.
Wait. Sorry, Doctor. I'm terribly sorry. Her name's Isabella, colleague, cousin of Bradley's. You invited us and many other of your colleagues here to witness the unveiling of a great device. Then you promptly vanished, and William let us know that you believed only moments before the unveiling that something might be wrong.
William?
Is there any way that could something have gone wrong, Doctor?
First of all, with your psychology roll, he's
not mad.
He is sane. He is, he's tired. You can see rings around his eyes. He's clearly been working a lot, but he seems happy. he seems in a really, really good space. He's happy, he's glowing, he's tired, but it's work that he loves doing. He mentions he's calling out to Lizzie at some point. He's possibly got a partner at the time. He's happy. And he does not seem insane. No.
right.
Isabella, as you're talking to him, you notice as the first thing is as you go, William, he goes, William? And he doesn't recognize the name.
Wait, your groundskeeper downstairs.
I don't have a groundskeeper.
What's the date for you, sir?
Yes, very important. What date do you think it is?
It's July.
Well,
Let me
you
get the
don't-
exact. It's July, and he goes 22nd.
Of which year,
Of
sir?
which
Same
year?
year. Oh, sorry, no. January, February, March, previous year. No, yeah,
I'm sorry,
previous year.
You don't have a groundskeeper. There is a man claiming to be your groundskeeper, and it appears to have been, and he,
Well, perhaps you hired him since.
or perhaps he's someone entirely different. Do you have any enemies, sir, that might? Oh gosh, he's got the geode.
Enemies?
Okay.
No, I don't imagine.
Kenneth,
Listen, enemies mean nothing. Isabella, was it? Understand?
Kenneth.
What I've been attempting to do here is break through time. I can travel wherever. I'll see wonders. It will be amazing. I'll get to dying with pharaohs. This is tremendous. And if my calculations are
Kenneth,
correct as well, I'll be able to propel myself
quickly,
forward through
Kenneth,
the
please,
stream.
please, Kenneth. A moment of solemnity, please. Something may be wrong here. I'd like
worked.
to. I'd like to show you.
Bradley, keep him here. I'm going to go downstairs and try and figure everything out.
Just a moment, Isabella. Kenneth, I'd like to show you this letter. I think you'll agree, penned by your own hand, some weeks ago, our time. Dated March 14th. In it, you say not
and
to
as
trust.
At this point, so Bradley produces a letter that has herefore not been mentioned to the other two characters. And Jackson, could you please read it for the viewers as well?
Well, I'll show it to Kenneth, and it says, "My dear friend, I hope this letter finds you well. I know we haven't spoken in quite some time, but my research has led me to some strange discoveries. I'm sending you this letter as a safety precaution. I'm not sure when or even if this letter will reach you, but I must ask you a very bizarre favor of you. I need you to memorize this code, F194-7L-507L. Once you've memorized it, burn this letter. I cannot have this falling into the wrong hands. Mention to no one that you know it. I'm sorry for not explaining more, but the less you know, the better. Please do not forget this code. It could be a matter of life or death. Hopefully you'll never have to use it. Yours, Dr. Kenneth Connolly." And then I'll bring to his attention the postscript, which says, "P.S. Don't trust Elizabeth or her brother. You're calling out for Lizzie just now, but if you trust this is your hand, then perhaps something is amiss."
He's taken aback at first, and you pass a letter to him, and he looks over it, and he agrees this is his hand, but it's dated in the future from his time, and he's still just grappling with the idea that he's succeeded.
Kenneth, our time, you're missing. Something is going wrong here.
Can you give me a, I think, persuasion roll? And take a bonus dice, because you have the letter and you're an old friend.
Yes, but I'm trying to bring him back to earth and show him that something is terribly wrong. And I'm pretty persuasive, I think, from memory. Let's have a look. Oh,
Hey, persuaded her.
Oh,
hard.
Good.
I
Go
give
the
you a
bonus die, there's a
anyway.
chance of a crit.
No.
Okay.
Hard success.
He holds it and he listens to it again. He says, "This is my hand, and Elizabeth is Lizzie. Yes, she's been staying with me for some time. We're in love. But she wouldn't do anything to hurt me or maybe
There's no one by our time that there's no one here by that name.
Unless it's someone
By
here
that name.
under a and brother. Have you met this brother?
brother. No. I don't even know that she has any family."
Can you describe Elizabeth at least?
Bradley, I quite think that
Certainly.
We
He
should
describes,
try
and almost immediately, a few key features describe Claire Whitley.
Bradley, I quite think that one of us. You stay here with the man, and I quite think that I should leave.
As you go, he
Yes,
goes, no, don't, sorry, I hate to push, but listen, I don't exactly understand how you're here. If I succeeded and the device, my time suit, is operating, it may have led to extra effects, possibly extended throughout the house. If something was damaged or broken, I don't know how long this will last, but we can. If you've traveled through time, we can change things. We can affect the present.
Do you mean to say that perhaps you're not standing in April, but we're standing in July?
Yes.
June?
And he goes to the window and swings it open. And although the sun was beginning to set when you entered the room, you are looking at a beautiful sunrise as the morning begins.
Oh my god! You want a sanity check, man?
Yes, please. Did you both give sanity rolls?
Oh man.
This is
All
not
right.
what I got out of bed for.
Can you both give me, both of you take a d6 of sanity loss?
A
Jeez.
D6?
Yeah, you've traveled through time, baby!
That's potential bout of madness right there. Yeah, here we go.
Make an intelligence roll.
I start while you're making that roll, Bradley. I start going, oh god, I'm climbing on a mountain in the Congo right now. Did I just vanish off the rope? I might be belaying someone.
All right. With a success, you understand what's happening. You can see that you have genuinely traveled through time. Your mind does a little bit of a snap as it tries to figure everything out. And can you roll 2d10 for me? The first will be the what gets triggered. The second will be the duration. We haven't had a bout of madness in a while. This is good.
Let me give number 4 for 1 round.
Can I get a double?
Only one round. That's good. I know that usually number 4 is it's very close to the red mist, which I always am
My
terrified
favorite. All right, bout of madness, number 4. Jackson, it's only 1 round, and so play
Only
this
one
out
round.
just for a bit. Paranoia. You are paranoid. Now you're beginning to question. And also, you've just realized that the woman that was hitting on you is not who she claims to be. There's a letter.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong time. They're all out to get ya. All right.
Yes.
He goes like, no, it's the morning. Opens the but you see the sunrise. Both of you go, fuck. And as he turns, what do you say?
I am inclined to open the door and see if I find March on the other side, but I don't really want to be in the room with these two right now.
As he goes to the door, he just goes like, no, just a moment. Anything we move or touch or change may disrupt this. We only have a moment. Any information I can give you.
What do we need to change then, man? What do we need to change?
Something's possibly been damaged with the device. Is probably what's causing this. If you can find it, maybe you can set things to rights. Listen, my journal, which I've written everything inside. I'll hide it. That way, Lizzie, even if she is intending to betray me, won't be able to find it, and I'll store it in one of the guest bedrooms. There's a loose floorboard. It'll be under that. If this works, you'll find it there.
Which one?
He describes the one that you're currently staying in.
Hey!
Ah, perfect, convenient. And on your side, man, carry a damn pistol.
He goes, I trust Lizzie. I understand that there may be things, but we don't know exactly what's happening, and I don't know the context of that letter. She's been good to me, and she's helped me. I couldn't have done this without her.
Kenneth, you simply cannot trust her or anyone else in this building. To be honest, shouldn't trust us, and we can't trust you.
Listen, Bradley, it's been too long. I shouldn't have let our friendship slip as far as it had, but damn it, man, it's good to see you. And if this works, if you can
You'll be able to go back in time and make amends.
He takes your hand again and he says, it's good seeing you. And Isabel, I think you were intending to go back out the door.
I mean, I stopped once he started saying, you're going to change something. I will, but I think looks like we do have to go. I will grab Bradley and I will go to move to the door, and I'll turn back and say, if the brother's who I think he is, then he's the size of an ox. A pistol man, carry a pistol.
All right.
And I'll step through.
You step out the door, and as it opens, you can see someone going down the stairs, but night has fallen at the estate, and it appears you are back in your own time. Not necessarily timeline, though. We'll have to see what changes you may have affected in the world. All right.
Is anyone out here in this area waiting for us?
Not currently, but there is someone going down.
Someone
the
just
stairs.
left.
Elsewhere, in another room, Monkey, you head down the stairs as that you slip away from the conversation as they're beginning to talk, and falling down, you get to the where you heard the steps. Based on where they were going, they went up and into the kitchen. Let me just update this quickly. Up and into this kitchen here, which you follow inside, and you're met by a rather strange sight, because crouched up on the sink is you. They are wearing the same clothing, but there's mud all along the boots, and it appears you've been shot. They see you come in, and they, like, flinch to see you, and then they go, no, and they pull out a pocket watch, which you recognize as, like, Seamus Quinn's or something. Maybe you nicked it or something, and they go, no, things are going wrong. Listen, you have to get out, get Bradley, get Isabella, and run. You have to run.
Okay.
Trust me, trust you, trust me, trust you. Run.
Yeah. Trust you, trust me. Got it.
Can you give me a sanity roll, please?
Sure.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is getting real freaky real fast.
This is fantastic.
Okay, you're
Remember,
good for some
freak
reason.
show.
You're like,
A lot of time in a freak show. Like, Monkeys, I feel like at this point, Monkeys just like, weird shit is weird.
do you turn to leave? Or do you say anything better?
Is it safe to leave?
You have to, whatever you do, you have to get out of here. Things are only going to get worse as the night proceeds. Whatever's happening is breh, and then you see like almost like a graphical glitch as you on the other side freeze. The whole thing distorts a bit, stutters, and then disappears. And you're not there. The blood which dripped down onto the counter has disappeared, and the door behind you opens, and William, the butler, very large man, stands in the doorway. Says, "Who are you talking to?"
Myself.
That's fucking funny. That's a good line. He pauses and he goes, "Okay, listen, come out here where I can just see you. There's knives and things in here, kid."
Oh, okay. Sure. I was just having a look around.
That's all right. Just, yeah. I don't really do kids, so you're good to like walk yourself, right? Okay, all right. He opens it and he sets back, and he's going to the library to check. At this point, you can see Claire Whitley descending the stairs. What are you doing, Monkey?
I'm gonna say to Miss Whitley, I'll just be like, Miss Whitley, have you seen Uncle Brad and Isabella?
Oh, yes, they're just upstairs. I think they're searching in the master bedroom.
Oh, thank you. And I will, slip past her and head upstairs, keeping an eye out for keeping a weather eye on where all of the exits are.
As you go, actually, she goes, "Oh, just a moment, Monkey. Actually, I was wondering if you'd want to help me search the barn to see if there's anything inside there. Bradley mentioned you're quite acrobatic, and I can't think of anyone who's more capable."
Oh, sure. I would like to just check in with Uncle Brad and Isabella first, but certainly after that, of course.
Okay. All right. Well, yes, that'll be fine. You head up the stairs, just as Bradley, and Isabella are coming out. So you see Claire descend. You guys come out. You're heading towards the room, and then Monkey comes up the stairs, and the three of you are reconvened. There is currently no one else with you, but you will have to talk in hushed voices if you don't want to be heard, just because you are standing over the staircase. Below, Claire heads off towards some rooms on the western side of the house that you haven't been in yet. William checks in on the two physicists, and the three of you have a moment to talk.
Quick, into Bradley's room. We'll hurry inside.
No. We need to leave now.
We found something
Yeah,
very strange.
so did I.
Monkey, please, we should talk in here.
You can tell us, we'll tell you, we'll get over it. But
You're all in the room.
Is there a window in Uncle Brad's room?
There is, yes. It looks out over the gardens and the cars below.
Okay.
In that case, as soon as we walk in the room, Monkey's gonna make sure that the window opens.
It
yes,
does.
probably a good idea.
You check it and it slides up.
Great.
I think we catch each other up, so you tell us what you saw, unless you don't, or do you let us know?
I think Monkey's very insistent that we need to leave.
Yeah.
And if you ask why, it's like, because I told myself we had to.
You saw yourself?
Yeah.
That follows.
Yes, okay. It's
Consistent?
Yep, consistent
Also,
with
I'd
the
like to-
inconsistencies.
I'd like to not get shot.
you'd been shot. Okay.
So we should leave.
It's
Well,
that-
not yet.
It's that damn man, the big one. He's tried to draw us away from the barn. But he's not a groundskeeper. He hasn't been thinking about repairing it. Gods, he might have a body stashed there. He might have the doctor's body.
You think he's the brother?
I'm almost certain of it.
Bradley, the floorboard you're standing on creaks ever so
floorboard.
slightly.
Open the floorboard.
As you guys all continue talking, Bradley leans down and creaks it open, and slipped inside is a blue journal.
All right, I skim it.
All right,
Well, actually, I'll duck to the last page first to see if he left any notes for me, but then I'll go back.
I am revealing a handout, done to the relevant. There's other stuff in there. It just talks about his life. These are the relevant pages.
Boring.
All right. Do you want to? You know what?
All right.
Go ahead and let's read these out, please.
I will.
There's a couple,
May
so
5.
if you want to take a break, let me know and I can read for a bit.
I would love this.
Okay, go for it.
All right, May 5, 1924. This is last year, almost a year ago, right? 11 months ago. Mm-hmm. Just moved into the old house with Elizabeth. Still have some unpacking to do, but it's great to be back. I hand some wonderful summers here. So unprofessional. I'm excited to start construction of the device with Elizabeth. She's truly brilliant. I love her so much. May 15. Elizabeth has had some amazing insights into our work. She said that she gets them through a special ritual, a meditation, she calls it. Yeah. And she persuaded me to do it with her, and now something has happened. I've seen something. No, I've seen many things. Elizabeth's occult studies, they've given me a new way of thinking. I don't know how to describe it. The beginning, I touched something. A mind, a being, a concept. I don't understand it. She called it Yog-Sothoth. Though that is only one way of looking at it. I need time to think. May 16, day after. After a good night's sleep, it's clicked. I understand. We're going about this all wrong. I can't work fast enough. May 30, I love Lizzie so. We were laughing so hard this afternoon. I'm so lucky to have her. June 9, our initial experiments have been an amazing success. I can't express my joy. I think we can do this. June 19, so June is when we spoke to him.
July
Lizzie
is when you
wants
spoke
me
to
to...
him.
Oh, July, sorry. Lizzie wants me to do the meditation again. She says it would help our work move quicker, but I can't. It just doesn't feel right. Frankly, I'm scared. We're working through some snags. We're coming up with solutions. I just don't feel like I need to do it again. I wonder, how often has she done these meditations?
All right.
And there's nothing past, hey, and it goes on. July 22. I've had the most disturbing experience of my life. Some friends of mine appeared at the house. They are from the future, and something is wrong. I should be worried, but mostly I'm excited. The device works. I told them where I'm going to keep this journal under the floorboards of the southeast corner of the blue guest room. I will hide this from Lizzie, but I'm sure they are wrong about her. July 20, and you prepped this in advance. Very well done.
The
How did
scenario
you know?
prepped all this in advance.
July 23, the day after our appearance. I've asked Lizzie if she has any siblings, and she said she's an only child. I wonder if my friends were mistaken. July 25, major breakthrough. We've discovered the best way to temporally travel is through thought. Today, I was able to peer into the past. It was when the house was being built. It must have been 1830 or so. I saw workmen. It was so real. I should be able to move through space as well, but it's hard to get my mind around that. Lizzie suggested the meditation again, but I just can't bear the idea. We're making progress. We don't need it. October 5, things are moving slowly but steadily. November 12, we've had an unexpected visitor. Lizzie's cousin, David, has come to stay. She's never mentioned him before. He's very charming, but a little strange. I guess Lizzie is too, in her own way. My friend said to expect a brother, but a cousin? Is she lying to me? November 15, David is going to be with us for a while. I don't like it. Our work can be quite dangerous, and I don't want him getting hurt. This all seems a little too convenient. I'm starting to wonder if Lizzie is deceiving me for some reason.
All right, and the final one.
Oh, Jan 3, 1925, this year. Overheard a hushed argument between Lizzie and David. I don't know what it was about, but they seemed to be trying to keep it from me. Jan 23, fighting again. Still not sure what's going on. I feel like Elizabeth is hiding something from me. I'm starting not to trust her after we said, I've thought it a good idea to put security on the device, so I've installed a code input system, alphanumeric. Only I will know the true code. Something like this cannot fall into the wrong hands. Feb 20, I purchased a handgun in town. Just, 8 months after Isabella told him to. I do not trust David. I know just having this gun might lead to drastic measures, but for now, it's solely for insurance. March 14, caught David snooping around the library. He says he was looking for a book, but I can't trust him. I don't think he's her cousin. He might have something on her. Blackmail? I don't know. Wrote a letter to one of the old friends I saw in July. It contains the code, a safety measure. If I'm in danger or something goes wrong, I want someone to be able to fix things. March 29. Today is the day I test the machine. It's a small step, moving 10 minutes into the future. I've noticed a few strange things, but it might just be lack of sleep. Mostly strong episodes of deja vu, but more disturbingly, shapes of people. I'm not sure if it's me or possible temporal feedback. We'll investigate further.
And
that was March 29, and then on March 30th, he sent us the telegram saying, come and visit.
Correctamundo. So that is the final entry. Those will be amended slightly to be more consistent with the warnings you gave him. He purchased a handgun earlier based on Isabella's warning, and he was probably more suspicious of the cousin. It's enough that he really does love Lizzie, so he was willing to let them stay, especially when the man, it was quite charming and seemed to keep out of the way, but as things escalated, he began to become nervous and suspicious of the ox-sized gentleman that Isabella warned him about. You have the journal, and Jackson, I actually need you to make a sanity roll.
That's fair enough. This is I'm honestly a little bit more freaked out by this than the goop monsters that we've tangled with before, I'll be honest.
This is pretty freaking sinister.
And I should point out I'm 5 points away from
Indefinite.
Oh,
yeah.
boy. This is good stuff, then. Oh,
No,
you
it's
are
good.
good.
It's good. I got a mission.
With that success, you are going to still take 1 point with this stream, and
Oh, you
also
bastard.
increase your Cthulhu mythos by 1 point.
Oh, from the extreme.
And
Fantastic.
with this journal, inside there are more hints and snippets concerning the mythos and what he's learned over his
because
life.
I got the name. I got Yog-Sothoth.
Yog-Sothoth. And also, if you study this journal over time, there is some more information you can get. Additionally, while using the journal, you can temporarily increase your science physics by +10. So, you can refer to it for things.
Right.
And you've sort of passed some of this information to us, right?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. That's good. Did you say 1 point of Cthulhu Mythos or a D10?
Yes, just the one for this one.
As we're gathered around, I'll say, right, well, it's clear. Here's what we do. Down to the kitchen, grab some knives, straight out to the car, get it started. We leave via the barn, gather our thoughts, figure out what we're going to do next. But for now, Monkey's right. We need to get out of here.
Well, I don't know about that. If we leave now, then that could provoke them into action. I think we should at least ascertain whether Dr. Connolly is safe, alive, and still within our time. And we also need to do more to either take the device for ourselves or disable it even more. Or take, preferably, in case Dr. Connolly is trapped somewhere else and we need to use it to bring him back.
See, there's a problem there. Monkey had the excellent idea of disabling the device so that the physicists couldn't use it.
Outstanding.
Unfortunately, the key component now, which I believe must be critical, is in the pocket of William.
Well, at the very least, they can't use it without this code, I believe.
Yes.
Okay.
Monkey, you go ahead.
So I trust me, and you trust me. So I told me that we should go, because obviously getting shot isn't great, and something bad was happening, and I was very specific that I and we should leave. However, we're stuck in this trouser leg, and I'm not sure if we get out if we go anywhere. I don't think that's how time works. Also, everywhere and everywhen is the same time. Just FYI.
I think we can change things. I think maybe if you've seen yourself, then maybe you've changed getting shot.
I don't think so, because
we've seen.
I think we might need the machine to jump legs, but I think that if we do, things will change in the other leg while we're gone, or all. This is not a great analogy now that we have multiple legs.
I mean, these are fine ideas for exploring in fiction, but the fact is, we don't know how these things really work.
No.
We need weapons in case we're jumped. That's down in the kitchen. We need to get to the device, and then we need to try and fix it. And I think we down to the kitchen, we get the knives. Go to the barn, check if there's a body there. Then.
Does it matter if there's a body? Because I know this is not great, but doesn't really matter if he's dead or not, because at least until the machine is fixed, we can't fix that. And also, I don't really want to spend more time in this house than we have to, so knives are in the car. We should just go to the car.
Yeah. Well, you're proposing we get into the car and drive away, though. We just leave.
Yes, at least that's what I told me to do, but also the me from then was not the me from further along, and maybe the me from further along has discovered that we can't get out.
The you from then also, Monkey, with respect, had just been shot. They might have been panicked. They might have failed where we might not.
I mean, I have been stabbed before. Like, I trust what my mental state would have been like in that setting to some extent, and I think the warning was legitimate. Regardless.
I agree with you. I totally agree that the warning was legitimate. I don't know whether do it. I think that if we just leave, we might get away, but maybe potentially we'll be in some kind of strange time displacement that we can never escape from. But we will be certain that we cannot in any way help the good doctor or resolve things here.
As you were saying this, just one quick note.
Please do.
Underneath the door, a cold breeze, and into the room.
We'll investigate that in a moment.
All I know is that I told myself that the longer we stay, the worse it gets.
All right, so it's a very short procedure here. We one, arm ourselves. I think two, briefly check the barn. Three, make our escape, if possible, taking the device with us.
That third step, I think we might have to get to the device to fix things, and I think that will mean we'll need to get the geode back, which might mean he needs to risk picking a pocket, which means that they might risk getting shot. So we'll figure that out. For now, step one, knives. Stay together. Bradley, give me the book. I hate to be rude. I feel like I might be able to be slightly quicker to get away, if someone tries to take it.
Just hide it again.
Well, fine. I think. Well, perhaps first, I was hesitant to follow Dr. Connolly's direction in burning this letter, but I think now might be the time. As long as we all think we can memorize this code, that's probably fine.
All right.
All right. So that code once more was.
I've written it down.
Well, don't write it down. Don't write it down. We gotta memorize it.
As
Here,
a player.
No, we're doing this. We're lopping this. You gotta memorize it.
I'm deleting the
rule.
handout from Roll20.
All right, F194. How do you memorize that? We need a mnemonic device. F194.
Well, keep it to yourself. Stop saying it out loud in case we're being overheard.
Oh yes, quite right.
94 frogs.
Okay, well, fine. That's a good start. 7L. They sit on
Stop saying
7.
it out loud, you bloody fool. Listen, we have to get moving now. Think while we go. Let's get to the door, and I'll hustle along. I'm gonna grab the book, unless you don't want me to, Bradley.
No, that's fine. We should split it up. Yes.
194 frogs sitting on 7 logs.
Sitting on 7 logs. Yes.
As this
Sorry,
happens,
this is like under breath and in head.
as Isabella,
Sotto voce.
as you open the doorway to the landing, it's like it's got a sitting area on the other side, but it's all changed a little bit. The roof is absent and trees loom over the sitting area as if it were on the first floor. Snow and trodden leaves have gathered in the edges of the room, and standing in the center, directly between you and the stairs, is a large black wolf with yellow eyes that stares at you, standing completely still.
Okay.
You steps back and gently close the door.
Can I get sanity rolls, please?
Yeah. You can have one.
Again?
Oh my god.
Hell yes,
What is
again,
this?
it's a wolf in a house.
Yeah.
Great scenario.
It's a time wolf.
Well, there are time wolves, but let's hope it's not them, because if it is, we're really.
Can I use luck on sanity? I can't remember.
You cannot, I think is how we've been playing it.
Cannot.
In
Can
pulp,
you
you
go?
can double. You can spend
That's right.
double the amount you use
Can
in
you
order to
take-
halve it.
Take a d6, but reduce it by 2 because you've encountered no, actually, you've only really encountered one other anomaly. Reduce it by 1, so d6 minus 1.
D6 minus 1.
Yep.
I'm 4 points off
Everyone else is
indefinite.
good.
Jeez.
Ooh.
Just 2.
The Battle Madness
Is
isn't
there-
triggered.
Just 2.
Is there snow outside the window?
Looking backwards, no. The window seems fine. It's looking out on the nighttime. And whereas inside the room, above with the absent ceiling, you can see a full moon, which like glistens in the sky. And there's hooting owls. No sounds of any other like civilization.
Hey, gonna back up, close the door, and climb out a window.
Alright, so you're backing up into the room. As soon as any of you move, the wolf like steps forward ever so slightly, its hackles raise, and you can hear a low thundering growl begin to emanate.
Do I know what you're meant to do when you see a wolf?
Make a natural world
does.
check.
Isabella absolutely does.
Do you want natural world or survival?
Oh, survival if you want
I
to
would
survive.
like to survive.
That's
I
exactly.
do know what to do.
I think you are able to, I think if you like, it'll be like, slow, careful steps backwards. The only one and I think you and Monkey can both do it. The one I'm worried about is Dr. Brad Fogarty. You get that like, what is your instinct? Now, you're not under a bout of madness. Do you think you might flinch, or are you able to, maybe power roll, to see if you're able to kind of like quell the fear and follow? Isabella's like, everyone be quiet, step back into the room, no sudden movements.
Yeah, all right. I'll
That's
make
what
a
makes
power
sense to
roll.
me, Jackson, but something else if you
Please
can.
do. I honestly, more likely, I think he'd probably just freeze and stay
Yeah.
completely still,
Oh.
even as they're drifting away.
Actually, in that case, mate, so Monkey, you step back into the room and you're making for the window. Isabella takes 2 steps back, but you realize Bradley isn't moving, and almost accidentally, he's locked eyes with the wolf, which is staring at him. One of the lips raises, and you can see like the fangs beginning to like as the mouth opens and the growl gets louder.
Wonderful.
Bradley isn't moving.
Oh god.
With that, I think you're able to. So you. So much. You take it, Jackson. How does it run out?
Badly.
Yeah. So I realized I've started a staring contest with the wolf, which, as Isabella will tell me, is the one thing you're not meant to do.
Yeah.
So I think realizing that he can't, break eye contact, he probably just slowly starts sinking to the floor in an act of submission, and then when he gets there, slowly starts crawling backwards back into the bedroom, not breaking eye contact because that's dangerous, but just like worming his way backwards into the door.
The wolf like pads once across the floor slightly towards you, growls again, and as you cross the threshold, one of you could like swing. Yeah, up.
I think Monkey, it's we'll look at cousin Isabella for like, do I go or do I slow? Like
Slow.
Okay, so Monkey will take this because high dexterity. It will very gently close the door.
Everything is slow and measured. There's a creaking whine, and from the floor, Bradley, you see the 2 yellow eyes become one, then none, and then the fur is hidden, and then as the door clicks shut, there's no movement from the other side.
Is it still cold under the door? Can I feel it?
You put your hand down, and after a moment, it disperses, and it's no colder than anywhere else in the house.
The door again.
I'm gonna very tentatively. Actually, I'm not. I'm just gonna be like, should we? The window?
Oh, you can't climb out the bloody window, Bradley. Go, look, direct, quick. Kitchen. Barn.
I know where the kitchen is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm just gonna go out a window and then climb into the kitchen window.
Bring the knives back.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Bring back here. We don't all need to go stomping around the kitchen.
Okay.
Fair enough. Stealth. I'm gonna do what I do best. Goodbye.
All right. Monkey darts out of the window and is going to begin to make their way around and down to the kitchen. Isabella and Bradley, what are you doing? And this will probably be your final what's happening as we're going to wrap the session.
Okay.
I tremble.
God, Bradley.
I roll to tremble.
I am going to find. Our cases are up here, right? Bradley took our luggage up.
Yep.
I pull out my trusty heavy leather jacket and I put it on and I limber up and I get ready.
The leather jacket I'll allow because any weaponry though. Actually, you guys are pretty suspicious. I would need a luck check
I
to have
assumed I
brought.
wouldn't have weaponry, which is why I was
The leather
saying.
jacket I'm cool with.
What kind of professionals at this
You
point?
are. I agree. I would take a luck check to have brought some stuff.
I'll take a luck
bits and
check.
bobs.
My luck 0. I fail.
You have 0? Oh shit.
You got some luck back. Did you spend all your
my
luck already?
Flexing.
So
Praise.
Correct way to spend luck.
So as Monkey swings around the outside, Isabella's pulling on the jacket and getting ready for a possible final confrontation. Bradley?
Lying, twitching on the floor.
Okay.
Just waiting for the adrenaline to get out of my system from seeing the wolf.
If we have our stuff, is it reasonable to assume that I would also have my jacket and bandolier?
That's fine. The bandolier, no. I think weaponry is a bit of a stretch for a... it would be a luck roll.
Yeah, is that okay? I don't
Absolutely.
have a lot of luck, so I expect is failing this just I don't have it?
That's right. You just didn't bring it with you.
Okay. I do not have my
You can have the
bandolier.
jackets, that's totally fine, but weaponry, not for this one. You'll need to improvise. All right, as Monkey, and you can grab the jacket then. So as Monkey swings around the outside, Isabella limbers up and pulls on the jacket, and Bradley twitches. From downstairs in the library, you hear a yell as Claire Whitley, or possibly Elizabeth, you're not really sure, calls out, "Bradley dear, things are escalating. I'm going to need you in the library." inside, Claire has put on the device. The diode has been reinserted. Seamus Quinn is knocked out on the ground, and the butler, William, has a gun drawn and pointed at the head of Diana. They're going to want that code now, and we're going to have to see what happens next time when we pick up the scenario. Hell yeah, time travel.
Hell yeah.
That was cool.
Great.
Rock and roll, guys. All right, so we'll pick up this scenario next week to see how this resolves. I can't imagine things possibly going poorly. In the meantime, this will be chucked up on the YouTube channel, and you can check out all the other games we've run there. You can get your own copy of this scenario, which flippin' slaps, from Chaosium.com. It's one of the many mansions of madness in the Mansions of Madness. But otherwise, until next time, we will see you in a week. Cheers, gang. Yeah.